Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and some breaking news out of the British and Irish Lions camp. ALUN Jones could yet still feature on the British and Irish Lions tour. After his tour was ruled out after a dislocated shoulder against Japan, ALUN Jones was actually replaced as the tour captain by Conor Murray. But new sort of news is that Warren Gatland believes that ALUN Jones could yet feature for the men in red, which is very, very interesting and quite cool if it does actually happen, but also very risky. And it's met with sort of quite a mixed reaction. So we're quite interested to see what happens. But before we sort of talk about exactly what the situation is, what Gatland has said, and sort of what the timeline would be, please do smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. The Lions tour kicks off this weekend. They are up against the Sigma Lions tomorrow in Johannesburg. Springboks are back underway with their test match rugby tonight against Georgia. But right, in terms of where the story has come from. So Warren Gatland, before sort of naming a sign, stuff like that, revealed that apparently the injury to ALUN Jones wasn't as bad as initially feared. And they said that the dislocated shoulder wasn't that. Yeah, I mean that was basically it. They said that originally they thought it was going to be much worse, it was going to be a much longer recovery, but they reckon now that he could actually still recover from that. And if there was an injury, or if he was to to recover fully, they might be able to fly him in for the test matches. And what's quite interesting, it actually looks like his age, for once, is actually playing into his hands, because they're saying that they reckon that they could try and do things to try and speed up the process, which they wouldn't want to do for somebody who's younger and got a lot of years ahead of him, because I think from the sounds of it might make him more sort of susceptible to the injury in the future. But for somebody who's in the twilight of his career, he's got a one-year extension with Wales, so he's still got another sort of year of international rugby, maybe at a very, very big push, another year to 2023 to try and make the World Cup. It doesn't seem very likely, but this is ALUN Jones. He just doesn't seem to stop. And and why should he stop at the moment? At the moment, if he's good enough to be picked, and he's been picked on merit, and he's contributing, and he's proving a lot of value, then why can he not continue playing? I'm all for it. I think that we need to stop sort of getting away from this big sort of issue we've got with age. As soon as sort of players become over sort of 32, 33 years old, that they spent goods. I think there's a lot of value in older players, and if they can play into that age, why not? Chris Gale's playing international cricket for the West Indies at 41 years old. You've got Ronaldo at some of the highest levels. You've had footballers, someone like Ryan Giggs played up until he was 40 years old. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is playing at the top level into his 40s. So athletes' careers are being prolonged. They are playing longer, and if they can still keep up and they're still not a burden and stuff like that, why can't they just keep playing? There's no need to sort of move these players along. But in terms of exactly what they've been saying, is that Gatland said we're going to monitor that, and as we come towards the end of the tour, or if we pick up an injury and he's making amazing progress, something can happen. You never know. Basically, they said that he has to be 100% fully fit if they are going to even consider bringing him back. This means that he needs to be able to take contact. He needs to be having contact sessions. So he will be going to Wales to train, probably be integrated into the squad, for the Wales squad, to train in terms of be able to have full contact training and stuff like that. And if he's feeling 100% and there's no sort of doubt that the injury could occur again, then he might be able to come. The Wales coach, WYN, was saying that he's a very strong character, mentally very tough, and if he sets his mind to something, he'll achieve it 99 times out of 100. If he says he's coming back from this particular injury and he gives himself a date, I wouldn't bet against it. And it's very true. I mean, I think ALUN Jones is very underrated in terms of how tough he is as a player. To have been so injury-free for so many years. He's the most capped test player of all time. We are talking about a legend of the game, probably one of the best Wales players ever, just in terms of being able to play that sort of length of time, being able to contribute to being such a big a leader. He really is a terrific human being. And, it'll be such a nice story after what was so heartbreaking, coming on his fourth tour, going to captain the series and stuff like that, and then the first match, does a shoulder. It's one thing if he did it maybe in the first test, and he could still stay in South Africa and be there for the guys and stuff like that. But for him to not even travel is really heartbreaking. So it would be such a nice redemption story if he could be able to then come back. And unfortunately, one of those things, touch wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, but injuries are inevitable. I mean, the British and Irish Lions have to play 8 matches between now and about the 7th of August. So it's a pretty hectic schedule. You're looking at pretty much 2 matches almost every week. So, unfortunately, the chances of injury are quite high. So if you are getting an injury, maybe in, I guess, the SAA side, just for the test matches, and he's looking really good, that is such a good option to be able to bring in. You're going to be able to bring in somebody that knows the Lions backward, has been there, it's been done before, he's played the Springboks numerous times. He can pretty much slot in immediately. He doesn't need to get used to the squad. He doesn't need to understand how things play ahead. He's been planning for this for a while now, and he's very ready to play. So it'll be a very interesting option for the Lions. I personally hope it happens. I think it will be such a nice story to see him come here. I think he got He's such a respected player, and I think it would be so nice, somebody like him. How nice would it be if by the time we get to the third test, you've got ALUN Wyn-Jones playing, you've got WYN from ALUN playing, you've got some of your best and biggest names in world rugby contributing on the field. That's what we really want to see. So I'm hoping that he manages to pull through. It will be amazing if he does, and I'm hoping that if they do it, they do it properly, and he doesn't sort of rush through it and comes down here when he's not fully fit and gets injured again. So that's always a bit of a potential issue there. But we'll have to wait and see. It's very exciting to see that there's a chance, and I think that, as when Pivac says, I think if he's got a chance, he's somebody that will do absolutely everything in his power to make sure he's available. So let's wait and see. Let me know if you would have him back. What are your thoughts on it? Would you be happy to see him back? Do you think that it's maybe being rushed? Do you think that there are better players maybe that they should be bringing in ahead of him if there is an injury and stuff like that? Where are you sitting with regards to this issue? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you guys very, very soon.